Have you ever felt like a fraud? And I'm not talking about your typical fraud, but like everything you're doing, everyone's gonna find out you're actually a fake. Well, you might have something known as imposter syndrome. And this is something where it's a psychological phenomenon when you feel like all your success in life might be due to chance or just random luck. As though at any moment, someone's gonna look at you and realize you are a fraud. They're gonna expose you. And it could be in your job, it could be in your relationship. You know, and when I look at this, I thought, okay, there are probably a few people out there who've experienced this. All of us have probably experienced it at some point, but 1 in 5 in one study out of Brigham Young University, 1 in 5 people suffer from this syndrome. That seems really high, which means if you look around right now, a bunch of us in here feel like frauds.
Well,
I'm out.
Well, you know what?
I'm gonna go sit by myself.
Yeah, Travis, you're definitely not an imposter.
The day they put us up here and said, we're talk show hosts, we had no training being talk show hosts. I hadn't done any TV, and all of a sudden, I'm the host of a show. I mean, I'm like...
But Drew, that wasn't imposter syndrome. We were frauds. We're like, we don't know how to do TV. But how do you, okay, so let's acknowledge this exists. And I have to imagine psychologically, it's really difficult. Let's say you have a job you love, but you feel like a fraud. What do you do, and what is the theory behind this imposter syndrome?
Yeah, so imposter syndrome is a phenomenon where individuals feel like their success in life is due to luck or even deceiving other people. And so they walk around feeling like they don't belong and waiting to be exposed as a fraud is what they feel like. And so that can lead to high levels of stress and anxiety, and it's correlated with depression. And so there are treatments for this, and the idea is that you can't internalize these feelings. The best thing to do is to reach out to friends and family and people. But that study out of Brigham Young had a very interesting twist, which is you don't reach out to just anybody. If you reach out to people in the same place where you feel like an imposter, you actually end up feeling worse. It's almost like your brain starts measuring itself against something else, and you're like, oh, I'm not doing that either. Maybe I'm an even bigger imposter. So instead, you want to reach out to people who are outside that sphere, friends and family, because who we are and our sense of self is really just, a lot of it's the reflections that we see in the people around us.
So you're saying if you feel like an imposter at work, don't reach out to people at work. Reach out to your support network outside. If you feel like an imposter in your relationships, maybe reach out to someone in a different aspect of relationship to you. Is that
That's exactly right, because we all have these internal critics that are running into, oh, you should have done that, you should have said that, should I have said that line, and so what ends up happening is when that's on overdrive, these ruminations that happen, that can lead to a bad state in the imposter syndrome, so break it and get out.
Do people externalize this and compensate by saying, oh, well, I'm the best plastic surgeon that ever lived, and where inside you may not feel that way?
That was one of the most fascinating things about this study was that they found that on average, the performance for somebody with imposter syndrome was the same. It wasn't changed because potentially, while they might feel inside like they don't belong, they might be trying even harder, externalizing it and saying, look how awesome I am. And so when we see people like that, maybe we can have a little more empathy and understand that they're not necessarily being jerks.
And there's a close link with perfectionism, correct? People with imposter syndrome are often perfectionists and very, very hard on themselves too, right?
That's exactly right. So imposter syndrome, it's not just a self-esteem thing. It's really more about having that really high bar for your performance. And one of the best examples is Neil Armstrong was at an event with successful business people and creatives, and he looked out over the crowd and he said, these people are doing great things. All I did was follow orders.
And walk on the moon.
And walk on the moon.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think, it can happen to anyone, but it tends to occur in people with these high expectations.
And hey, if you're a politician in Washington, D.C., there's a self-help line, 1-800-IMPOSTER. So go ahead and call, talk through your problems, and you guys can actually start helping us solve some problems.
And you need a dopamine break from that Twitter account.
Maybe a dopamine break, too, would be great.
Oh.
Drew, I wasn't singling anyone out, but hey.